There is no lack of Rivian logos or compasses. I mean, there just is not. We know that. This, I think, is just a good shot at all those materials that we mentioned. Got
Mm.
the wood, you got the metal, you got the stitched vegan stuff there. You see the door again. They're showing off. There's chili witch down there. If you look close, another kind of material and texture. Sorry, I thought
And
you go ahead.
man, it just looks clean to
Mm-hmm.
me. I mean, and yeah, there is some visual interest there with the different materials, with the different textures. I mean, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go. This is where the first time we see the lack of swim trunk lining, which is awesome, but no buckle. And then the flashlight. Anything else you guys see here?
Man, I'm wondering. I mean, I remember they made it a selling point early on that you were going to be able to unzip those pockets, remove those pockets to be able to clean those cubbies. And I'm curious whether there's still a way to remove those or easily clean them.
Yeah, they specifically mention that on the pockets on the back, the lower portion of the seats.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Which I
Okay.
don't see those pockets in any of these pictures. Do you guys remember anything about that or have any insights?
What we wanted to do was design a pocket on the back of the seat that was easy to clean. So we've actually integrated a zipper here. You just pull this zipper off and you can get to any crumbs or other things in the back of the seat and keeps your seats very clean.
The mat pockets on the back of the seats, those were removable on the prototypes. And then,
Mm-hmm.
like the door, all four door pockets had zippers to completely remove them.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought that might have died on the table, like some of the other features that have faded away.
Certainly looks
I
like.
mean, I'm coming at this from a different angle, though. I don't want things to be removable. Um, my thought is when I drive, Skylar, and I imagine you fall into this category, I'm cranking my tunes, right? One thing I hate is when things get loose and vibrate. And like every beat, I got to hear this damn vibration. And then you got to identify the vibration, and then you got to try and remedy the vibration, right? Like I want a tight cabin that does not shake or rattle. And to me, when you start removing things over time or maybe just in production, they rattle. So I really hope if anyone from Rivian watches this that they're cranking tunes while they're driving these prototypes rather than, just yeah, that's it. So I don't know. I don't like a lot of removable stuff unless it's like to me, the swim trunk thing probably would have been better, because how much can that rattle?
Boo.
Just
Yeah,
saying. I just don't want the rattle, man. No rattle.
Well, if anything, I think this new one, like the first one we saw, was still a soft kind of texture, and soft
Mm,
stuff doesn't rattle to me. It just had a
right.
zipper in there, and maybe like that little zipper handle could technically drive you nuts, Jeff. But maybe not, right? I'm sure there's ways to secure that little handle too. To me, this one I almost think has more of a chance to rattle if it's rigid. And so one question I'd have here is this like completely rigid plastic, or is there a little bit of a give? And if there isn't any give, what's that also do for this next picture down here? I know they're fitting a big water bottle in here. I think it's 40 ounce, they said somewhere. Yeah, down here, 40-ounce water
Mm-hmm.
bottle and stuff in there. But to Skylar's point earlier, like I can see myself having to use this if there's only two cup holders up front before someone builds something for down here for more cup holders. But I think that, I guess personally, out of all of my favorite solutions, I think that I like the prototype one, with the buckle and kind of the
yeah.
combination of a soft liner and removable and all that too. But I don't know. I do think it looks fine, but it is a good call about like how the function of it, how it's going to change based on what we see here. And I don't know.
My guess, because Land Rover has something similar, like in their Defender, where it tips out.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Yeah, where it would tip out. So like they can pull it, and whether it's held on by like an elastic or something like that. Not like an elastic, but you know what I mean. You could tip it out, put your thing in. But again, to me, that's, you know, asking for rattles.
Yeah, some type of spring tension, and then it swivels on its
Yep.
on the
That's what
bottom.
I'm
Because I
envisioning.
mean, there's no way you're putting a 40-ounce Nalgene bottle in that first aid kit in there without having to do some.
Hammer.
Yeah,
Got to keep a rubber mallet in the drawer under your seat to get that in there. Yeah.
And you know what? Jeff did make a good point about the rattling zippers, or Kyle, whether that was you.
Mhm.
And I know without a doubt has rattled a few.
That's going to get edited.
Good. Yeah. Well, I'm putting that in there. We've already kind of touched on all this stuff. This little place where the key fob is,
Not a fan of that.
the crumb catcher, I think you called it, Jimmy, right? These
Yeah,
two here, we've kind of touched on all this stuff. The place down here for a bag or some third-party accessories in the future. Anything else you guys see here?
No, I mean, I will point out one thing that I thought was cool, and it's that the wireless charging pad there will support 2 phones.
Right. Yep.
I think that it's cool. I mean, it was the first mention of that, I believe, that I had heard.
Yep.
So I'll be on the flip side of that. Having been fortunate enough to have cars with wireless charging, I will say your phone will slide out of that at every break. Like any quick break. So a lot of car companies are now like putting them in positions where like you could slam on the brakes and that phone's going to stay tight. Right. But like that, imagine slamming on the brakes. To me, your phone becomes a projectile that's going to smash into your display. It's got like a little ramp and everything. Tell me I'm wrong. Like, look at that, and then look at where your display sits, and tell me that thing's not going to slide, hit that ramp, and smash into your display and break it.
Hey, Kyle, somebody way overanalyzed that photo down just a little bit further.
This one?
So they zoomed in, and the date was like November 28th or some Thursday, November 28th or something like that, which would have been Thanksgiving, like back in 2019.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway, thought that was interesting because that was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
A year and a half, whatever.
Interesting. Well, do you guys see all of the stinking icons here, by the way, all the compasses for the texture?
No way.
Yes. These are all compasses.
Dude, Jeff, those are super compasses that will hold your phone in place.
Little suction cups.
Little suction. Yep. Oh, man.
Oh.
Wow, nice. They have a film camera in there, not even a digital camera. This is an old photo.
No.
This is an old photo.
Yeah. 1999 digital camera. That's sweet.
Yeah. I am hopefully that looks pretty big, pretty deep, you know what I mean? As far as having like a journal in up vertical and not flat, along with another drink. Not a holder, but at least a drink. See, there you go, Skylar. If you want another drink holder, you have to have a journal that creates a corner and then put it right in there.
Nice.
Now, what would actually be really interesting is, again, referring back to Land Rover, because I actually think Land Rover is like their biggest market. Land Rover has refrigerators in there.
No way.
So my cars have all had a refrigerator in that center console. So you put like a couple bottles of water or a thermos or whatever in there, and it keeps it perfectly cold.
Interesting.
So I hope they actually do that at some point.
What is not shown in any of these pictures is underneath this storage, and underneath here is the Bluetooth speaker that docks in. You can see maybe the edge of it there. But that is all below all this stuff. We do see a picture of the Bluetooth speaker somewhere down here towards the bottom, and it docks into where this kind of angled portion is the portion that you pull from. So definitely a cool speaker there, and a cool way that it docks in for sure, and is seamless as far as the look of it, but they don't show that in the pictures here as far as any of these. Got a little bit of this UI here where they kind of have this soft edge cloud to the map, which I've noticed now a couple times. Anything else you guys see here? Not a ton there, not a ton new. Here's where we get like a little taste of the UI, which to me, it looks awesome. Always raises more questions than it answers, of course. You guys got any sleuthing that you uncovered here?
Not sleuthing, but the fact that the air vent direction is electrically controlled as opposed to manually controlled, and I think that's what you see represented on the screen. Is kind of interesting. Hopefully that ends up being more reliable, not less reliable than traditional manual controls. But the other thing that I think is super cool about it is, it recognizes your driver profile and knows where to aim the vents. Like, it drives me crazy when my wife gets in one of my vehicles and moves the vents off of me, and all of a sudden I'm like, I'm hot. What's going on? It's still set to 72. It's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. Yeah, Lexus has actually been doing that for a bit, and it does work well.
Yep, that's cool.
Yeah.
So behind here we have Jordan driving right now. I imagine this is an icon for his music that he has going on. Then a huge, huge map behind this little pull-up for the climate control. So it'll be interesting when we see more of this stuff for sure. You've got seat heaters and cool. Rear back here, sync to get everything together. Yeah. Anything else there?
I assume you'll be able to drag your finger on like the direction and drag it to blow the air in a different place, right?
Like Tesla, yeah.
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 Yeah, that's definitely what it looks like.
Looks to be it. You know what? I think I'll just keep going through the pictures this way. Yeah, that bag's awesome there. See if we can see the compasses again. Super suction. Here we feature the ramp that goes up to the screen.
Maybe that's why you have to be there.
You will say that will happen.
I love it. Handles look good to me. We haven't mentioned that, but I like how they got enough tradition in them. Jimmy, have you guys ever gotten like a Tesla Model 3 or Model Y with their doors? I know that's kind of hit or miss for people liking.
Yeah, the button. Yeah, not a fan. I do like the traditional.
Me too.
Standard door handle, and I like the fact that it's big enough to. Not that I need to wear gloves. You don't get that cold, but for a person wearing gloves, that's definitely something that you can still actuate.
Yeah.
Without taking your gloves off.
It's good. And then also, it's small enough if you have Whopper Junior hands, you can still handle it too. So that's good.
That was valid.
USB-C hook, that's all good. You guys remember way back in the day that used to flip down to reveal, but I think this is better that it's just there. What about you guys? You think you like this better?
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I want to see what they do for peripherals, like putting iPads and stuff on that hook.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to see some of that stuff
Yeah.
come out. Kids.
Upon
Right.
zooming,
Keep them
these aren't
entertained.
compasses. This is just a good old fashioned texture here. That would be sweet if they were compasses. We'd be up to like 1 million compasses.
So I love the look of that texture. I will say that I've had similar textured surfaces in vehicles before, and Rivian's made a big deal about things being easy to clean,
Mm-hmm.
but the textured surfaces like that, in my experience, have been difficult to clean. So maybe they've cracked the code though.
Yeah. Anything here?
So
Just an interesting place for a charger.
Yep, I like that it's out of the way and that it's not obvious, because the interior is so clean and sleek. But from a practical standpoint, think about needing to plug something in while you're on the road, while you're driving. That's
That's not good.
It's just hard for me to light my cigarette from all the
Hey,
way.
Kyle, if you're not using an electric vape pen by now, you're behind the times, my man.
I know.
I think the idea here, though, is this is going to be one of those things where, similar to Tesla with their, geez Louise, I can't think of it now. Basically, the ability to record from the cameras as long as you've got a USB flash drive in there. I think the idea behind this is going to be a lot of set and forget, because you're going to have USBs in the glove box. You're going to have USBs on the seat backs. A lot of places that are going to be more, some that are going to be removed whenever you need the kids to power their devices, and then others like in the glove box that are going to stay plugged in all the time. Similar to the one that's going to be underneath the dash where she's unplugging or plugging that in. You put in a thin little thumb drive in there for recording, assuming maybe that's what they'll have because they haven't come out with it yet. Being able to record what the camera sees, and then you just leave it alone and you never touch it again.
Mm-hmm.
But is that a USB that she's holding, or is that a 12 volt?
No. So 12
volt.
12 volt.
Yeah.
Round 12 volt plug.
Yeah.
It's good points though, and this might be the first time to switch it a little bit that we've seen a single hole for just one stock. We don't have one that's just blanked off there. I mean, it looks good. I just think that, like, maybe to Jimmy's point a little bit, that I can't remember the last time I've used one of these plugs. Do you guys use one often or not?
Maybe it's for the FM modulator.
Yeah. Maybe it's to plug in the radar gun. The
my radar detector is my number one. So I hope actually that there is 12 volt power up around the rear view mirror that they will let people tap into, because that's actually my preferred route, but it's not always there. Ignition switched 12 volt power.
Mm-hmm. Good addition of USB-C there for sure.
Yep.
Climate control for those back people. Good shot of Chili Witch.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the idea, I think anyway, of how that center console opens up in the French door style. What do you guys think about that? Well, not that we have to have opinions on it, but I've always had one that just opens up with one from like a button in front, kind of tilts back. But this is the French door style. You guys got any practical insights into that?
I love it because I used to drive for work a lot with either colleagues or customers, and being able to if I needed to get into the console, I had to ask them to lift their arm off the armrest, which wasn't a huge deal, but just being able to open your side
Mhm.
and reach in and grab what you need, I feel like I think that's a very thoughtful feature.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
Yeah.
that's cool there. Don't need to do that anymore. This is through the glass there, up top.
SPF 90
Yeah.
something thousand, which
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, let's look at that. 99.9% of UV light.
And
We get some stuff here about Meridian Audio, which for those of you watching on YouTube, if we even make it to this long in this recording, this has gotten long. But we have been speaking with the leaders over there at Meridian, and they have agreed to come on and talk to us about audio inside cars in general, and then when the time is right, specifically inside of the Rivian vehicles. So that'll be fun, and I think we're all looking forward to hearing how this sounds for sure. Anything else with these last ones or anything there with those? We got essentially just that speaker, and then these few pictures here. We get to see Dirty, and then no crap handle, some speakers up here. Speaker. Anything else?
Yeah, so Kyle, one of the other things that was mentioned there that they didn't call a ton of attention to that I'm excited about is there is actually an array of microphones for when you're on phone calls, and it said, be able to do noise reduction and echo cancellation. And that to me is cool. Most of my vehicles have had a single microphone, which meant that if a passenger needed to speak, it was tough to do. So I'm excited about that one.
Mm-hmm. Looks here like we can get our seat right where we want it. All the controls there. I do think that has to hopefully that has to rotate down, or else we wouldn't be able to fit that 40-ounce bottle in there for sure. That looks pretty tight from that angle.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me get off this thing. Anyone want a final word?
All jokes aside, I actually have that carabiner that's in the glove box. It's a Rivian carabiner. I forgot to tell you guys about that, and I apologize.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Thanks, Jimmy. Let me go. This one right here.
Yep, that one right there. Yeah, I got two of those. Yeah,
I got one to spare. Even he says. That's funny.
For climbing, not to be used for climbing, So, yeah.
All right, that's awesome. Let me come back to you guys here.
4 cup holders, man. That's tough. It'd be interesting to see what we get in the R1S.
Mm-hmm.
6 cup
Yeah.
holders.
Right?
Yeah. Thanks for watching. If you get a chance, please check us out at rivianstories.com. And every like, subscribe, and share helps. Thanks again.